combat to begin. An intimidating circumstance, no question about it, for the young. Poise would be very important here, Bob.
Well, it is. This is one of the top 5 stadiums, the most intimidating stadiums to play. And when you've got a big crowd like this, these Notre Dame players are going to be intimidated.
Ohio State, we know, has got the muscle.
They've got the physicalness. They've got the players to be physical. And I think that Notre Dame, this is not a great Notre Dame team. They've been worn out by injuries, and they've had some academic problems. Not a great Notre Dame team. Cooper, on the other hand, may have his best team in his 8 years at Ohio State. They are physical. The concern for Notre Dame is that they're going to wear...
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame will try and knock off the number 7 team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes. But right now, let's check some scores before we get you out to that game. First, Washington State facing number 2.
Pick you up. And now one of the great traditions in college football, the Pride of the Buckeyes Band, directed by Dr. John Wood. The drum major, Carl Neudorfer. Script, Ohio, with Steve Post dotting the I. The sousaphonist from Covington having a moment of his life as he dots the I in Script, Ohio. They play on real grass here at the Horseshoe in Columbus. It is absolutely, totally stuffed. There isn't an inch of space left available for anybody to sit or stand on. And as we come to this ball game, and Bob Griese noted that the physical element probably rests with the Ohio State Buckeyes, maybe the quickness with Notre Dame. But there's an element that we can never predict about college football, and that's called the human factor. Now let's check in with Lynn Swan.
That's absolutely correct, and that's one of the reasons why Lou Holtz came down to the sideline. He wants to be able to control the emotion of this young football team, channel it in a positive way so they don't make the early mistakes. This is when you're in college football and the emotion is so high that routine takes over. Coaches on both sides have to rely on that routine. The players have to rely on that routine so it doesn't take them out of the ball game. Get in the locker room, do it the same way every time, so when you get out in the field, you are prepared. And then channel it towards positive football. The team that does the best in the first half will be the team that controls that emotion, Keith.
Thank you, Swanee, and here we go with the Irish wearing the white, kicking off. Kevin Kafka kicks it away. Terry Glenn and Sean Springs wait for it. It is Sean Springs, number 24, the son of Ron Springs, who played at Ohio State. And he's out of bounds up around the 27-yard line. The Buckeyes come out to start the ball game with one of the veteran quarterbacks in the country, Bobby Hoying. He's got very good numbers this year. A new scheme with a new quarterback coach, Walt Harris. He needs 60% to really be successful. He's doing better than that. And you can see he's third in the nation in passing efficiency. The ball rests at the 28-yard line for the first snap of this third meeting ever between these two teams. They played in 1935 and 36. Notre Dame won both the games. Eddie George is the deep back. The Irish show a 4-man defensive front. George with the ball over the backside. He finds daylight. He finds the first down. He runs to the 43-yard line before Alan Rossum brings him down.
Number 27, Eddie George was the ball carrier.
Well, from behind the defense, they're going to pull the tackle. That's Golston, number 50. Little misdirection, and Eddie George is not touched until he's about 8 or 9 yards downfield.
So the Buckeyes go big for 15 yards on their first offensive play. Put it at the 43. Ricky Dudley comes out. Demetrius Stanley comes in. That gives them 3 speed burners at the wide positions, and Hoying's first pass is swung out to Eddie George. 2 people waiting for him. He skips 1, runs over the other, and picks up 8 yards. Now the Chili starting lineup. Ohio State's backs and receivers are these. And a highlight figure in that group is the man walking there, number 83, Terry Glenn, caught 9 balls last week. He had a rocky start, but as he comes into this season, he's turned the corner and become one of the premier players in the country.
9 catches and 253 yards and 4 touchdowns last week for Glenn.
Second down and 1. Give the ball to George. He runs into the middle of the pile. They move it for about 3 yards, and it's first down, Ohio State at the Notre Dame 45-yard line. Up front, this is where the muscle is for the Buckeyes. Orlando Pace, the left tackle, 6'6", 320 pounds, but he moves all that weight. He's quick. Jamie Sumner, outstanding blocker. Juan Porter anchors the line at center. LeSean Daniels and Eric Golston, the youngest.
Porter, the center, is good. Pace is outstanding.
Single back, that's Eddie George, the tight end in motion, going to the left side. Ball given to George, the Irish smell it, play it right, and make the tackle. The first hit is by Corey Minor, who is an 18-year-old freshman, playing an outside linebacker position for the Irish. Minor, but the man who anchors that defensive front for the Irish is Paul Grasmanis. Grasmanis is a hunk, 6'3", 285, and a senior. Bob Davie, who ran the team from the sideline when Lou Holtz was not able to be there after the surgery, back today in his role primarily as defensive coordinator. And he's got himself quite a chore to stop this Ohio State football team. George runs it down to the Irish 39-yard line. The linebackers for Notre Dame. LaRon Cobbins is the anchor of that group. He's a junior, and he flies around all over the place. Bert Barry is outstanding. Kenan Tatum is a junior from Fayetteville and coming on strong. So you've got three juniors in that linebacking core. Pappy Pearson checks in now for Ohio State at the tailback position, and Eddie George is out of there.
Here they come.
And they jump all over Pearson. They bury him. Bert Barry led the charge.
It's a nice disguise. Bob Davie's defense lined up like they had been lining up all along. Grasmanis beats the man, but Barry, number 13, the outside linebacker, on a blitz from way out. Nice disguise, and Barry made the play.
They are going to have to gamble today. There's no question what they will have to gamble.
Yes.
Brett Bartholomew is in the punt now on 4th down for the Buckeyes, and Emmett Mosley, who took one back for a touchdown against Texas last week, is waiting back at the 10-yard line. Special teams as a Holtz specialty, but they won't return that kick. That is way back into the end zone, kicks off the field of play, and the Irish will take over at their 20, their first possession of the game. Notre Dame ball, their own 20-yard line. Ron Paulus, 1995, has this set of numbers for you. You saw a while ago that Hoying, the Ohio State quarterback, 65%. Well, Paulus is right there, too, for 900 yards. And twice as many touchdowns as interceptions. It's Kinder and Edwards lined up behind him. And here's the first snap for the Irish today. Kinder. Down he goes after a 3-yard pickup. So the right side of the Irish line got some surge. The Chili's talk. He's the man that Ron Paulus looks for on virtually every passing circumstance, and he could have himself a day. He will contribute no matter what. If Ohio State doubles him, he opens somebody else up. Derek Mays is a very important persona in this ballgame. Second down and 7. Paulus back, lets it go to the sidelines, and the ball is overthrown. The pass was intended for Mark Edwards, coming out of the backfield, who is one of 4 Ohioans on scholarship at Notre Dame right now. The offensive front for Notre Dame today will come out with Dusty Ziegler leading that group, but there's been a development. Number 79, Mike Rosenthal, is a freshman starting today at the right tackle spot. 305-pounder from Granger, Indiana.
He's starting because of an ankle injury to Mike Dowdy.
It is 3rd and 7 from the 23. The Irish on the season 44% on 3rd down conversions. Paulus getting pressure, throws it into the stand. So he got some heat and got rid of it. Man getting after him was Matt Finks, number 92. And you'll probably see 92 and 94 aiming at the Notre Dame quarterback a lot before this day is done. Hunter Smith will come in now to punt. He's had 13 punts this season. He's averaging just under 39 yards per kick. And Sean Springs, a sophomore out of Silver Springs, Maryland, will go back for Ohio State. So both teams have to punt in their first offensive possessions. Penalty flag. Springs takes it. Got a block. Pretty good return, and you got two flags. You got one back up the field where the kick occurred, and you got what downfield where you probably had an illegal block in the back. The referee today, it's a crew from the Mid-America Conference, and it's John Nealon, the referee.
Illegal procedure. 6 men on the line of scrimmage on the kicking team. A push in the...
Before Kinder, 25, the running back. Paulus rolls it out to throw it. They miss him in the backfield. He has time. He has a man, and the pass is incomplete. And he couldn't hit him either. If he'd have touched the ball out in front of Derek Mays, he might have had 6. But remember, as in the case of Hoying, he was running on the dead run, and there were people between him and his target.
Well, you got one man. That's Mays on Springs. The other 10 are blocking and chasing the quarterback. He rolls out, one-man route. If you're not open on the out, come on back around. Threw it poorly. Good coverage by Springs.
Kopka is in for a field goal try from 20 yards, and Charles Stafford, sore leg and all, is out to hold it because he's been doing the holding. And it's up, and it's good. So Notre Dame goes for the 3 points, and they get it to take the lead on the first play, second play of the second quarter. When they played here in 1935, it was one of those games. You know, those games of the century? Ohio State led 13-0 after 3 quarters, but the Irish, with Bill Shakespeare throwing to Wayne Milner, wound up winning it 18-13. That's why there's been so much hype about this game we're playing here today. I mean, there has really been a thunderous roll of hoopla for this one. The wind is blowing on the field. It is blowing from right to left, but it is not as pronounced down on the field as it is where the flags are located above the stadium. High kick fielded at the 8-yard line by Sean Springs, and he scoops out to the 33. The Goodyear Blimp Spirit of Akron is in town and offering these pictures of the horseshoe. Aaron Jenkins, the captain. The cameraman is Richard Morco. Came down from Akron this morning. Probably a nice ride. A little warmer than I expected it to be.
Yes.
Matt Calhoun is in now. Matt's been dragging a sore leg, but he's all right. 6 foot, 237 pounds. He backs up Nicky Sualua. Those two fullbacks are blocking backs primarily. Both square. First down from the 33-yard line, and it's Eddie George. And Eddie picks up about 3 yards, running behind Golston and Daniels. And here's John Saunders with some news about the Bayou Bengals.
Well, Keith, LSU, they've been on the rise in the top 25, facing South Carolina, trailed most of this game. Jamie Howard, 20 yards to Cedric Wilson. They kicked the point after with about a minute left, did get the ball back, but couldn't score. Keith, back to you.
Must have been a pretty good day for Steve Tannehill. Yes, folks. Trying to run a screen pass, and Hoying doesn't deliver it. They had it set up, too.
Beautifully. That's what I mean. The consistency of Hoying, he makes the big plays, but he's got to take care of the small ones. That was set up very nicely. Stats after the first quarter. The impressive thing was Notre Dame in that long drive. Total yards, 98 for Notre Dame, 55 yards rushing. No turnovers.
That one had big play all over it.
Yes, it did.
Just a little dinkum, get it over the head and get it in his hand so he can catch it. It's 3rd down and 6 for the Buckeyes. And he misses again. Throwing for Ricky Dudley down on the 35-yard line. Dudley's a big guy at 6'7", a big target. Trying to touch the ball into him, and he threw it out in front of him.
That was a little tougher throw, but he was there. He had his man beat, McGee. Ohio State 0-3, 0 for 3 in third down conversions.
It's a shaky start at this juncture for Bob Hoy. And the Buckeyes will punt. Brent Bartholomew, second kick of the day. His first one was 40 yards. Got to hold your breath right here. That's a tail dragger, and it goes out of bounds. It's not a good kick at all. And the wind, unless it is swirling around, the wind would have been at his back.
He's a freshman punter kicker, and he's not punted well in games.
That 25-yard punt by the Buckeye punter gives Notre Dame the ball at their own 38-yard line. First down with Edwards and Kinder lined up behind Paulus. And they move Kreplevic over to the left side. That's the field side. That may be where they want to go. It's Kinder. That's why they put Kreplevic, the tight end, over there to give him the extra leverage, and they get about 8 yards out of it. Edwards also got a good block on that corner.
You saw the tight end move there, Keith, and it wasn't just because he lined up in the wrong place. It was to show strength to the right side and then move him to the left side, and then they ran left. And when you move one tight end, 4 defensive guys had to move. There he's on our right side now.
Second down and 2. Edwards. And the big back from Norwood, Ohio, will punch it down to the Buckeye 48-yard line. Ohio State's letting Notre Dame build up a head of steam.
Notre Dame first down.
Well, in talking with Bill Young, the defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, he said the first thing we got to do is stop the run. He said, I don't care about Derek Mays and Ron Paulus. He says they still want to run the football, and you've got to stop the run.
And they haven't done it.
That's right, they haven't done it.
It's another first down. It's Kinder to the sidelines. He went out of bounds at about the line of scrimmage, 48-yard line. It'll be second down and 10 for the Irish.
The Irish come in with a pretty balanced offense as far as run and pass. They're averaging 244 yards running the ball and 225 per game passing the ball. So anytime Lou Holtz can get that kind of balance, he's going to take it.
Temperature just above 80 degrees as we started the ball game. Very warm for this time of the year. Paulus back to throw. Looks down the middle. He's got the fullback, Edwards, wide open. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him. There's a penalty flag back up where the ball was thrown. And you got a roughing the passer call against Ohio State.
A nice play. Nice call by Lou or Dave Roberts or whoever, but good play action. Once you get the running game going, then you can do your play action passes. It opens up the entire spectrum of your offensive system, and all your play calling come off the run.
Obviously, they'll take the play because the gain is down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Roughing the passer on the defense half the distance of the goal, first down.
So they added on the end of it, and it becomes a huge play.
Here's the fullback. He's going to sneak as they're going to fake this side. The 2 wide receivers are down to our left side. The fullback just sneaks right down the middle. Nobody near him. And here's a look at roughing the quarterback. Oh, yeah, good call there, no question.
So it's first and goal from the 9-yard line of Ohio State. Notre Dame cranking it up. Kinder trying to get outside. Good block, turns the corner for him. He picks up a couple down to about the 7. Anthony Gwynn was the man that finally got some arms around his legs.
Yeah, that was just good running by Kinder to avoid about a 3 or 4 yard loss. He broke a couple tackles before Gwynn finally made the play.
He's got 50 yards now on 11 carries. Goal line defense in for the Buckeyes. Garnett checking in. Second down and goal. Ball just outside the 7. It's Kinder. And he's down to the 2.
This is just good old-fashioned smash-mouth football right here.
Ohio State is digging themselves a hole.
And it all came from running the football. The play that got him down here was the play-action fake and the pass to Edwards, the fullback. 2 running plays, and you're inside the 4-yard line.
They put the ball on the 2-yard line. Thorne checks into the backfield as the blocking back or fullback. Kinder is the deep man. I don't think the new man will get the ball. It's Kinder for the corner touchdown.
Watch the block of the white shirt on the right. That's Wallace, number 88. That's the tight end. He knocks the man all the way off the ball. And then Thorne, 19, with a great block. Kinder doesn't see anybody till he's across the goal line. Just great blocking and execution for the Irish.
Kopka for the point. 11:25 to play in the first half. And it's 10-0 Notre Dame. With nearly 49,000 students, the largest college campus in the United States. And they have just kicked off an $850 million fundraising campaign. They offer 170 undergraduate majors. Covers a lot of territory. It's bigger than a lot of cities. Pleasant place. And particularly when the weather's like this. Here's Kopka's kickoff. Springs back in the end zone will stay there. And they'll go to work at the 20. First down. The Buckeyes trailing. Let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Keith, I'm with Robert Smith and Corey Stringer, a couple of Buckeyes who know what it's like to play the big game. Corey, Orlando Pace is out there in the line. He's a big offensive lineman that stepped in your shoes. A lot of pressure for a lineman carrying that kind of load?
It's not really pressure. It's just fact of accepting what you have to do, and he's done it well so far. You just got to get out there and start making plays now.
Robert, what about you as a running back? You feel a lot more confidence when you have a guy like that in front of you?
No question. A guy like Corey or Orlando, I mean, you can call the play up at the line, tell them where you're going to go, and still run it that way. They have that much power, that much strength, and we have that much confidence in them. They can know where we're coming. We'll still go after them.
I know you're rooting for them to put something on the scoreboard right now. Keith?
John McLaughlin was shaken up, part of the kick coverage team, and is walking gingerly off the field, but seemingly all right. In the last 11.5 minutes of the ball game, Notre Dame has possessed the ball 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Ohio State's only had it 53 seconds. That's why Notre Dame leads 10-0.
McLaughlin is the backup defensive end who plays about half the game. They can ill afford to lose another defensive lineman.
Buckeyes come up to the ball now, and the striped shirt folks stop them for a minute. Now we can go ahead and play. Calhoun is the fullback.
Keith, the Buckeyes are having a tough time getting their engines started here today. I think that field goal may have helped them if they would have kicked it when they were on the 3-yard line, but sometimes the home team has trouble getting going.
Irish show blitz, don't do it. George trying to bounce to the outside, can't do it. Will get 1 yard out of the play, and that's all, as Corey Minor, the freshman, made another big play. But Ohio State's had their chances. I mean, Hoying's had people open, and 3 times he's failed to miss open receiver.
But what I said, well, let me explain what I mean by sometimes the home team has trouble getting started. There's a lot of distractions when you're the home team. You have family coming, you have tickets, you have rooms, the biggest game, all the fans and all your friends. When you go on the road like Notre Dame is, you're more of a unit. It's us against them mentality, and it's sometimes early on the results are better.
Again, Irish show blitz. Hoying's pass. This time he hits Tillman right on the numbers. Needs 1 block. He almost got away. Number tracked him down. That would be LaRon Cobbins, a linebacker.
This is the first time that Notre Dame has blitzed. Watch the two linebackers, and when you blitz, you go single coverage in the secondary. Great job picking up the... Hoying reads it, and he gets it to Tillman, who breaks the tackle. If he had Terry Glenn's speed, he would have scored. 51 yards, big play for the Buckeyes, who needed a jump start.
And a first down. The ball at the 28-yard line of Notre Dame. Eddie George with some daylight on the left side, stuttered a little bit. And if he'd have taken the first hold that was available to him, he'd have been better off. But he was trying to get to the sidelines and still winds up inside the 20-yard line.
Eddie George is really an interesting player, Keith. He is big for a running back. He's not small like one of these scat backs. He's 6'3" and 230 pounds. And not only does he have the power to run over you, but he's got the shiftiness and the quick feet to catch the ball out of the backfield and make you miss.
Second down and 1. George searching around, got the first down. You don't want to get too preoccupied with this dancing business when you're in a short yardage situation. You're better off to go the old straight line system and get it done. Ball is on the 17, where it is the first down for Ohio State.
This is a pretty good offensive team through the first 3 games. The Buckeyes, 7th in total offense in the nation, 8th in scoring. They're averaging 41 points a game.
On first down, it was on the hands of Ricky Dudley. He had double coverage this time, and the ball was slapped away.
Defending was number 6, Ron Collins, and number 17, Ryan McKee.
Dudley is 6'7", and he got him into the end zone, and he just wanted to get him the ball right here as he's going to break down the middle. Now watch as the coverage is going to come from the linebacker. You'll take that all the time. That's Cobbins. The other man wasn't even a factor. The ball was there. Dudley should have brought that one in.
He's a basketball player learning to play football.
That's true.
Second down and 10. Hoying throws again, setting the screen for George. George went right into number 14, Ivory Covington, a nickelback who was in the game. And Covington holds his ground, and George can't do much with it. He got down to the 10-yard line. Monday night on ABC, Jeff Fahey, new episode of The Marshal, and then ABC's Buffalo-Cleveland matchup in ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. A lot of action on Monday.
About the dog pound. Now, there, you know, you talk about a great place to play a football game. In that old Cleveland Stadium. You talk about some wild fans.
It's 3rd and 3 for a first down. Hoying throws. Terry Glenn.
One of the things that the Walt Harris brought in was the quick passing game. The receiver is going to break right in here, and there's going to be a huge opening for the quarterback. The inside guy breaks out, creating a little vacuum there, and get the ball there quick. Inside the 10-yard passing, a lot of slants.
Josh Jackson for the point. This is a big point. It's good. 8:08 to play in the first half. It's a 3-point ball game. Notre Dame leading Ohio State 10-7. Because those first two things, kickoffs and punts, relate directly to special teams.
Yeah, 22 returns for touchdowns on the kicking game. right there. He's had some other ones, of course, but you've got to have good athletes, and you have to coach. You have to know how to coach. It's just not offense and defense. It's the kicking game, and if you get an edge there, it can make a difference.
Buckeyes are on the board now. 8:08 to go in the first half, and here's the kick by Mike Malford. Emmett Moses waiting for it. Not a very good kick. It's going to go out of bounds, and Notre Dame's going to have the football up at the 35-yard line. So the Buckeyes make another mistake, and here is Lynn Swann.
Keith, I'm standing in the last row in the left end zone with Jack Oberholzer. He's 77 years old, and he was at this game in 1935. Big difference in the ball game, huh, Jack?
Big difference.
Tell us a little something about the game you saw those years ago.
Well, for 3 quarters, Notre Dame was never in the ball game. But in the 4th quarter, the flow of the game changed completely.
Are you looking for a little revenge today? Were you rooting for the Buckeyes that day?
I was rooting for Notre Dame.
So you're still rooting for them?
Yeah, I'm still rooting for them.
That was a great day for you then, huh?
It was. First college football game I ever saw.
Oh, what a way to start off watching college football, and you still have the program from 1935.
Yeah, 25 cents for the program.
Okay, Jack, thank you very much. Keith?
Thank you, Swanee.
Rooting for Notre Dame. That's why he's up in the last row of the upper deck.
You're not going to get a good seat. For Notre Dame. First down for the Irish 35. Wallace gives to Kinder, and he is caught right about the line of scrimmage by Luke Fickle. One of the wonders, though, of this game of college football, Bob, here's a 77-year-old man who's talking about a game played in 1935, and he's surrounded by a bunch of young people.
Yeah. Yeah.
There might be some storytelling up there before the day's over, and it can only be good.
There's a historian. He knows all about that 35 game.
You know, he's just riding the adrenaline wagon right now.
Yeah.
He is pumped. Second down and 7. Fickle has 6 tackles so far in the ball game. Fullback Edwards with the ball. He's alone. First down. At midfield as Damon Moore, a redshirt freshman from Fostoria, Ohio, finally brought him down.
I like that kid, Keith.
Moore?
I like Edwards, yeah. Look at it from behind. The defense is just going to cross, and he is just going to pick his way. Watch as the lineman do a little cross in there. The lineman don't block it right, but Edwards just runs by the lineman. I'd say this kid is the second leading receiver, does a lot of blocking, doesn't get a lot of respect, but he is one tough customer, Mark Edwards.
Midfield Irish first down. 10-7, Notre Dame leads. Second quarter of play. Wallace wants to throw, throws for Edwards, and he makes a tough catch. Tromping down the sidelines, and will take the ball to the 32-yard line of Ohio State. So the youngster from Norwood, Ohio, back haunting the Buckeyes some more.
He came into the game with 14 receptions on the year. Here's a look at what he did last week. Look to the right side. 6 receptions for 72 yards and a touchdown.
He's out for a breather right now, and Marcus Thorne comes back in. Is it about time to go looking for Derek Mays?
Well, you better be sound defensively, because Holtz will find out what you're doing and go after him when you're not sound.
Mays has got one-on-one up there with Spring. Safety creeps over, though, just in case, and it's Kinder getting the handoff to the 30-yard line. It just smelled like it was about time.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
43 by Notre.
You know, I've always felt that Lou was one of the best sideline coaches in college football, especially getting a feel of the game. Now, he's not a wide-open passing type like a Spurrier or a Bowden, but he knows how to, he's an option guy, he's a run guy, he play action. He knows when you're soft, and if you don't cover Derek Mays, he's going to find out and he's going to get to you.
It's Kinder again. And he's just short of his first down. But they are just flat kicking the daylights out of the line of scrimmage right now. Ohio State, they're just knocking them out of there. Next Saturday, ABC's college football features a national doubleheader. Noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, Ohio State at Penn State. At 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, Notre Dame and the Washington Huskies in Seattle. Folks up in Seattle still remember 1948. Randy Kinder and Edwards now in tight in the backfield. And short yardage play, they go to Edwards, and he breaks it. Down to the 14-yard line and a first down.
Made by Kevin Johnson.
Well, that was a play that's just a little bit of a different wrinkle in it. They break up the backfield. They move them in about 2 yards closer to the line of scrimmage and block it well.
And then they block for each other. The backs block for each other. And just to finish up with Lou Holtz calling plays, you know, when you're sitting in the press box like he has the last 2 weeks, I think you call the plays better because you're up there. It's a quiet environment. You got all your charts. You can look down and see this. But you get the feel of the game from the field.
It's Kinder. Well, number 77, Jerry Wisney, or no, it's Ziegler. Ziegler just knocked Fickle out of the way, and that's right where Kinder went.
Kaczynski and Leahy and Clevenger, that front line, including the true freshman Rosenthal, are just dominating the offensive line now. We mentioned the fourth quarter may be a factor because Notre Dame doesn't have a lot of substitutes to put in.
Second down and 3.
Got single coverage out here if he wants it.
Kinder doesn't need it. Touchdown. Well, good teams answer scores, and Notre Dame just pow right back down the field.
Well, the offensive line take a bow right here. Kaczynski is 57. Ziegler is 77. You start to the left. There's nobody pulling, so it's man on man. The whole defense overruns it to the left side, and Kinder, with good vision, slides back to the right.
Kopka is in for the point try. Penalty flag. Kick's good. Linesman threw it. Offside, Ohio State. Point is good. It's Notre Dame 17 and Ohio State 7. So it's a bit of an eye-opener with 4 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the first half. As the Ohio State Buckeyes have fallen behind by 10 with 4 minutes and 31 seconds to play in the first half. Notre Dame answering Ohio State's touchdown with a very decisive march right back down the field. In the first 16 minutes of the game, no points. Last 10 minutes, 24 points. Now, let's see if the Buckeyes can respond themselves.
Yeah, the last 3 possessions, 2 for Notre Dame and 1 for the Buckeyes, have been touchdowns.
Kopka's kick is high, not too deep. Springs under it at the 3. Out of bounds at the 24. Hoying looked sharp on the last time down the field. Hit 2 bullets. 1 for a touchdown.
A drive of Notre Dame, 65 yards following the poor punt. Well, it wasn't a punt, it was just good field position.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So kicked out of bounds.
Yeah.
35.
That's right.
All right, they start off with Calhoun and George. Hoying on first down. Pressure, throws it out to George. George out there, wiggling around. Makes 1 missing, 2 missing. The third man gets him, and it's a pickup of about 6 yards. That little juke stuff that George likes to do works better on the artificial stuff than it does on real grass.
You know, he doesn't look like he does much, but everybody slides off of him. He just kind of slithers by him. I mean, he doesn't make you miss a lot. He just doesn't come down that easily.
Orlando Pace is not in the game. Brock Burris has replaced him in tackle at the moment, anyway. Hoying gets some pressure from Wynn, runs out of it, keeps it, first down, and out of bounds at the 42.
we didn't expect this coming in to be a defensive strength, show of strength on either side. Both defenses have been scored on, and offensively, both of them are averaging over 37 points a game. So I think the more this game goes on, the more the defenses are going to wear out, especially Notre Dame. I keep saying Notre Dame because they've had a lot of injuries, and a lot of their players academically ineligible. They don't have a lot of players.
This is George faking the reverse, keeping it, and picking up a first down at midfield. When he faked the ball to Glenn, some of the Irish defenders bit on it. That gave George a little more room.
But when it's not going to be a reverse, you'll hear the side of the sideline of the team that has the ball hollering reverse before he even gets close to the exchange point. That's to get the defense thinking that it's going to be a reverse. So I heard him hollering up here, so I said, that's not going to be a reverse if they're hollering it.
George, the deep man. Fake to him, Howing. Hoying going deep down the sidelines, and it is off the hands of Terry Glenn. Defender was Sean Wooden, and he did a good job.
Was hit by number 22, Sean Wooden.
Well, you got your best against their best. Terry Glenn against Wooden. This ball is thrown, maybe a little bit underthrown. Glenn's going to have to wait for it. Allows Wooden good vision on both of them, especially on Wooden, who gets up and knocks it away. That ball would have been out further, had a chance to be completed.
Orlando Pace is leaving the field of play at 3 minutes to go in the first half. Irish show blitz. Give it to George. Eddie changes directions, keeps working. And goes from nothing to something. Something is about 5 yards. Maybe 6. George now totals 99 yards. He's run for 77 and caught passes for 22. He and Kender both having a big day. Edwards having a big day.
Yes.
Ball rests at the Irish 43. It is 3rd down and about 5. Hoying figures to throw here. Now takes off. They offered it to him, and he took it. And it's 1st down in Ohio State at the Notre Dame 35-yard line. And then they just opened the gate. A lot of grazing land in front of him. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, John Saunders scores highlights. That'll include a look at the scenario called a Major League Baseball wild card.
All right. Finally here.
Notre Dame
Yankees clinched, huh? Good.
Notre Dame 3 timeouts, and Ohio State also with all 3. On 1st down, Hoying back. Passes away. Got a man. Too long. Just beyond the reach of Terry Glenn. Didn't miss by much, but enough.
Well, he had to get rid of the ball a little bit before he wanted to. He had some pressure in the pocket.
Corey Bennett was really coming after him.
Yeah. This one is a little overthrown. If he'd just thrown this ball out in front of him on the last long pass against Wooden, he would have had it.
Stops the clock at 1:44 to go in the first half. Notre Dame leading 17-7.
The point is, Keith, they're not doubling Terry Glenn. Wooden is covering him man-to-man out there on the flank.
2nd down and 10. Nick George. Eddie George. And Eddie, it's 37. I got it right yet. Nicky Sualua, the fullback, had the ball. I thought George for a moment, but it's 37, and he pounds in there for a couple of yards, and now they've got to spend a timeout to stop the clock at 1:28. Lynn Swan with some news about Orlando Pace.
Yes, Keith, I talked to Bill Davis, the trainer on the sideline, and he said Orlando came over and was just sick to his stomach, literally throwing up on the sideline. They don't know why. They had him walk into the locker room, Once a team goes into the locker room at halftime, they'll evaluate him, try and stop him from getting sick to his stomach, and try and find out exactly why he is. And if he is able to come back, of course, he will be back in the second half. But right now, just sick to his stomach, and they just don't know why. Keith?
Well, tension, pressure.
Too many pancakes.
Exertion, heat.
That happens, though. You know, sometimes the guys eat too much for a pregame meal, or eat something that they don't normally eat.
Well, they learned a long time ago from the marathoners and the distance runners that pancake is a lot better for you than steak.
Yeah. Let's just hope that that's all it is. Here's Bob Davey, the defensive coordinator for the Irish. He was telling me the other day that he's only got about 5 or 6 defensive linemen that he's going to use, and he's just worried about the fourth quarter. He said at Purdue a couple of weeks ago, they really wore down in the fourth quarter.
It is 3rd down and 8. The ball is at the Notre Dame 33-yard line. Sualua and George are in the backfield. Stanley is out. Glenn is in. Number 15, D. Miller is in.
And we've got 6 defensive backs for Notre Dame in the ball game.
Dudley, number 80, the big lanky tight end, is there on the right side. It's 3rd and 8. Boyd looking around. Wynn after him. Ball thrown to Sualua, the fullback, and he's short of the first down. He turned around to look where to go, and by that time he got tattooed pretty well by a couple of Irish defenders, and he's 2 yards short of the first down. Ohio State spends its 2nd timeout. They have 1 remaining at 1:13 to go in the first half.
Central on ABC.
Ohio State is looking at 4th and 2, and Josh Jackson is not out there. It is 4th down and 2. If he were there to try, it would be about 44 yards, and this year he has not kicked anything over 39. 1:13 to play, and they will go on 4th and 2.
Now, in the past, Notre Dame has gone all-man coverage in this situation. You know, a quarterback draw is something that they were thinking about using in this situation.
Yeah, they're all up there just looking him right in the eye. Now let's see. If he changes, he's going to throw it. And he does, and he's got his first down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. And the clock stops to move the chains at 1:07 to play.
Yeah. Some people have said Notre Dame gets a little bit predictable. I guess everybody does at times, but this is just straight man-to-man coverage, and that is Covington, the 3rd corner who doesn't play a lot, who plays in nickel situation, out on the best receiver for Ohio State. Good read, good throw.
Just ran him right off on the play for the first down. 18-yard line now. Boeing looking for Harry Glenn in the end zone, and it is knocked down by Sean Wooden. Good play by Wooden.
You got that right. Had the same thing that he had a little earlier, and that's a slant inside. The ball just throwing a little bit late. This is not a short slant, but maybe a little deeper post up inside. If the ball were there now, it would be all right. The ball was a little bit late, allowing Wooden the time to knock it down. Good play.
49 seconds to go in the first half. 2nd and 10 from the Notre Dame 18.
Here they come. Blitz.
Passes away, and it is Stanley! Touchdown! Wait till you see this one. Josh Jackson for the point. Good. It's a 17-14 ball game on what I think you will agree after you see it, quite a remarkable catch by young Stanley.
Well, the first thing we noted that it was a blitz. Now, blitz means linebackers are coming and single coverage here in the secondary. The wide receiver going to go down and break to the corner. Now, quarterbacks, if you can block blitzes, enjoy it a lot because you get this single coverage at the top. Hoying just throws it out there, gives it enough air. Stanley says, hey, that's not where I want it. It's back to the inside. Now watch this recovery by Stanley. The ball is supposed to be thrown out to his right side. But because the Hoying had to throw it quick, he didn't throw it where he's supposed to, and a great adjustment by Stanley.
I'll tell you one thing, Bob. I saw it from the sideline here, and for a wide receiver, that's one of the toughest adjustments to make in the game. He's looking back in the direction where the sun is coming from. He's got to get his body, his head, shoulders turned around, and still find the ball, plus it's contact. It's a great pro catch, Bob. The best kind of catch you could ever make.
It's a good point, Lenny, and it's a nice play by Hoying, the fifth-year senior, just to get the ball out there with some air to allow him to try and make a catch.
Pop-up on the kickoff. Penalty flag back at the kickoff. It is Mosley. And Mosley, who can burn them, comes across the 35 and up to the 37. Penalty flag back here as the ball was kicked. Ohio State wobbling around here and letting concentration break down and making little mistakes. Little mistakes. Here are the officials for today's game. It's Middle America Conference crew headed by John Nealon, the referee. That Sid Rodeheffer is a Big Ten basketball official, but works football in the MAC.
How's the Ohio State defense doing? Well, first 3 games of this year, they averaged 119 yards per game. They've already given up more than that today to Notre Dame, and that is the key to this first half. Neither defense playing that well, but Notre Dame having less trouble with the Buckeyes defense. A little bit tougher for Ohio State.
Nickelbacks in the ball game, figuring Notre Dame goes to the air, but they don't. They hand the ball off to Kinder on first down. And the clock stops at 30 seconds to play in the first half. 17-14, Irish by 3. Ohio State gets out of here trailing only by 3. They're going to be kind of lucky.
Oh, you're right. There's no question. And what Lou's telling him here is the situation. We've got 30 seconds. We don't want to lose the ball or drop the ball in our own backfield, but we may want to throw the ball downfield. This is what they're doing. This is the coverage, so he'll know, and then give him a play.
Arizona State USC will be seen next out on the West Coast only, for those of you living out beyond the big mountains. And then next weekend, it's a doubleheader day, or a pair of national telecasts, not a doubleheader. Ohio State, Penn State is the opener at noon, and that's awfully big in the Big Ten Conference. I mean, really big in the Big Ten Conference this year. Then Notre Dame is on the road again. They're going off to Seattle to play the Washington Huskies. So the Irish are in the middle of the tough part of their schedule. Just around the corner, they've got Southern California as well, but that's in South Bend.
I think what you do here is if you've got an opportunity, throw the ball deep to Mays, or get it to Mosley to let him run with it, something safe, or give it to your speed back, Kinder, and see if he can make something. If nothing big here, forget it. A little screen.
Go out a screen out there to Denson. Autry Denson, the freshman.
Well, he's got a lot of speed. He got more speed than any of them on the team. But that's a good play. It's I would expect that from Lou. It's safe. It's giving it a try. It's a screen with Denson, and you could get a couple break a couple tackles. You could go all the way.
It'll be 3rd down and 2 with 25 seconds to play in the first half. Notre Dame has no turnovers, they have no penalties, and they have no sacks. And this is Edwards, the fullback, taken down behind the line of scrimmage. So they finally get the home state boy and deck him for a loss after he's tormented them considerably in the first half.
Well, the thinking there was it was 3rd and 2. We either wanted to pick up the first down because we didn't want to punt the football. Notre Dame did not want to punt it. Now Ohio State takes the timeout, forcing Holtz to kick it away.
15 seconds remaining. Ohio State now has spent all of their times out. Irish have 2. Point here is to handle the punt cleanly.
Well, and if you've got any kind of a scheme going for a block punt, this might be a chance for it, because if they do kick it away, you don't have any chance to score.
Unless, of course,
it's true. I'm just thinking about Springs
finds a crack.
I just look back there, so Springs back there.
He did it to the Boston College Eagles on a
Yes, he did.
kickoff. All right, the Irish will kick it. That's Hunter Smith. 38-yarder.
They're not going to rush this. They're just playing regular defense right here. Yep.
Springs has come up now. He's not going to field it. They just let it go. And it looks like the wind is swirling, because that ball got up there and just kind of hung for a little bit and then fell down. The ball rolls dead at the Buckeye 13-yard line, and you have 2 seconds remaining in the first half.
Paulus has been kind of quiet. He hasn't been asked to do much because the running game is going so well. When he's been asked to throw the ball, he's thrown it well.
This is the old knee-down play here.
Yeah, the old genuflect. Ron Paulus is 5 of 8, 99 yards in the first half. It's been a little bit tougher for Ohio State offensively. Hoying has had to throw the ball and has done it nicely.
Half's over. So we played half of it at the Shoe, and it's Notre Dame 17, Ohio State 14, and here's John Saunders.
You have better control of your team on the road, and he's a master of that.
Now, your game stories, what we were looking for when we started the ball game, and see what's happened.
Well, we told it that, you know, the edge in the kicking game, I think that's still to be, you know, Notre Dame is explosive in that. Big play defense, it goes both ways. They haven't sacked the quarterback yet. They've given up 245 yards, and they've allowed 2 touchdown passes. So for Ohio State, Hoying is 10 of 14 and 2 touchdowns, but he did miss a couple that he could have, but he's playing well. And for defense, Ohio State defensively, too much yardage by far. Notre Dame already 119 yards in the first half.
All right, Mike Malfit will kick off for the Buckeyes, and Emmett Mosley will return it for Notre Dame as we start the second half of play. And the ball hits the corner marker. Now, what's he going to do? Call that out?
No, it's in the end zone. That thing is in the end zone.
Okay.
Pylon's in the end zone.
So it'll come out for the 20.
Look at some numbers here in the for the first half. Equal number of plays, both with 36. Notre Dame rushing the ball a lot better. Ohio State passing it about total yardage about the same. No turnovers, no sacks for either side. Time of possession. The game is on the line. Go out and play it in the second half.
Crowd kind of sitting on their hands for a while, and some of the Buckeye players walked around and waved their arms at them and said, "Let's go, it's time to play, help us." And 17-14 ball game. The Irish, they go to the air on the first play. It's Mosley, and Mosley is caught after he gets up to about the 26-yard line. He almost popped it loose, but he is so quick and dangerous.
In the first half, Notre Dame had the ball 5 times. They scored on possessions 2, 3, and 4. They were impressive. They controlled the ball with the run, and that's just what they want to do.
Second down, call it 3 and a half. They try Kinder. Bounces off a couple of guys and finds his way across the 30 and the first down to the 32. So Randy Kinder continues to run tough as he got away from Ryan Miller.
Stop by Anthony Quinn.
Offensively for Notre Dame, Paul is throwing the ball 6 of 9, 106 yards, no interceptions. Rushing Kinder with 82 yards, Edwards with another 30, and receiving, the fullback Edwards had more than Mays, the All-American wide receiver.
Paul is throwing. Mays down the middle, goes instead to the sidelines. By the time he just made up his mind which person he wanted to throw the ball to, that being Edwards, the fullback, Vrabel was in his face.
There was nobody to throw to, Keith.
No.
There was only 2 receivers on that side, and there was nobody open. And he did a smart thing of throwing it out of bounds.
2nd and 10. Just starting the second half. Irish getting the first possession. Up, show blitz. Coming around the corner, pick him up. Falls away, Mays downfield, he's got it. Derek Mays goes soaring into the air to make the catch over Sean Springs.
Well, they haven't thrown the ball Mays' way very many times today. Starts inside, straightens it up. Now he's going to break back outside across Springs.
Springs lost the ball, didn't know where it was.
Well, he had short coverage.
Yeah.
Gwynn had the deeper coverage. Good throw, good catch.
And it's first down Notre Dame at the Ohio State 49, and so this half is starting out kind of like the other one. This is Kinder bouncing outside. And here's Lynn Swan.
And Kinder carry. Stop by Tom Howard.
Keith, I'm with Charlie Ream, who played on the offensive and defensive line back in 1935. You find any similarities in this game and the one you played in all those years ago?
Yeah, it's a little bit faster game today. We didn't throw the ball as much as they do today. They probably passed more this first half, and we passed the whole game.
Waited a long time for the Buckeyes to try and get a little revenge, huh?
Right. 60 years is a long time, and I tell you, I'll be glad when we can win this one because I've been suffering for 60 years.
Okay,
So
Charlie.
let's just be good.
Thank you very much.
I noticed he said when, not if, huh?
Yeah.
There's another first down for the Irish as Mark Edwards behind the offensive line surge, and it's impressive to me that the Notre Dame offensive front has whipped Ohio State's defensive front today so far.
The defensive line for Ohio State, all 4 starters returned. Finkus and Vrabel were all Big Ten picks at the defensive end. Notre Dame offensively last year, the line was the problem, but they've come back. All 5 of the starters are back. Akers is not playing because of an ankle injury, but they're doing well today.
They had him. They'd be pretty good. Here's Paulus back, looking down the field. Now the pressure comes, passes away, and thrown away. We're talking about having people and being pretty good. How good would Ohio State be if they had Wilkinson, Stiles, Stringer, and Howell?
How about Corey Stringer on that offensive line? That's true.
2nd and 10. Mosley's out of the ball game now, and 81 Charles Stafford is in. I thought he had a sore leg.
I did too. He's a blocker. Maybe they're going to use him to block. Maybe if they run that way, he's probably in the block.
Exactly what he's doing at the top of the picture. Number 30, Greg Belisari, brings down the running back. 100 yards on 22 carries for Kinder.
Offensive line, little toss. Clevenger, 75, goes through to get one of the linebackers, Belisari. 77, Ziegler. 99 is the tight end, Krepevich.
3rd and 6, and the crowd jumps into the game. Moses way down here at the bottom of the picture. Blitz him on. He goes for Mosley, and he's got him. Mosley started deep, ran the defensive back off the play, curled back, made the catch to the 21. Ty Howard and Anthony Quinn were there.
It's one of the few times that Ohio State has blitzed in here. But watch on the outside. Single coverage here, single coverage on the outside. Going to throw it to the receiver at the bottom. Quarterbacks love this if you can block it. Got the time to throw. Free safety came over and helped out on the tackle.
Boy, he got a yard, free yard on the mark. On the 21. Here comes Kinder. Got kind of tough. He ran out of room on that side, and they were able to pin him on the sideline. Left guard. Somewhere in the left side of the line. Got a false start there, so they'll
5 yards, first
be a
foul.
5-yard penalty against the Irish. I thought that drum was coming in the door.
I thought it was in the booth. I couldn't hear anything.
Right down below us. Pounding away. She broke all the china. Ball is at the 26 after the 5-yard penalty. 1st and 15. Wallace still got it. Looks to the sidelines. Pass is good. And he's going to be out somewhere around the 17. Derek Mays with his, what is that, his 3rd catch in the ball game.
Had 1 catch at halftime for 30 yards, and then caught 2 here in this opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
Gain 9 on the play. It'll be 2nd down 6. And Clement Stokes checks in. He's number 32, and he's a sophomore, and he's the deep back. And he gets the ball. Fresh legs. Out of bounds, short of the 1st down marker.
Left tackle Chris Clevenger just took Finkus and put him out of bounds on that play. I mean, he just drove him just into the next county. Number 75, left tackle, that's Clevenger on Finkus. Number 92, the stretch play. We're talking about Orlando Pace.
He's also holding.
Had a little jersey in his hand. It's not holding if you don't get called, is what Chris will tell you.
That's right. 3rd down and 2. Kinder didn't make it. I don't know. Well, I'm going to wait and see. It's close, but I don't think he made it. The yard. Oh, it'll be 4th. Now, do you kick or do you go?
Well, you've got a freshman place kicker. That's the first thing you need to know. You're into a little bit of a win.
He got a good mark. I think he's at least a half a yard short. Maybe a yard. They don't mark him a half a yard, though.
Well as you've been running the ball, you don't try a sprint out or you don't run something wide. You just go up inside and mano a mano.
This is the 13th play. I would think Edwards. It is Edwards, and he's got the 1st down. He's across the 10.
And they're running left behind Ziegler and Clevenger and Kaczynski, that center. Offensive line.
Orlando Pace, incidentally, in case you're wondering, is on the sidelines.
Take a look. That's Wallace, 88. Ziegler is 77. And Edwards just needs a crack. Just give me an opening. I'll pick up a half a yard.
It'll be 1st and goal. The ball is right on the 10-yard line. It's Edwards again. And this time Belisari gets him right about the line of scrimmage, but Edwards is a strong guy, needs a little help, Belisari does, from Fickle. And the gain is close to the 8-yard line.
Belisari is the leading tackler coming into this game for the Buckeyes, having a good year. And Fickle, 99, is the nose guard. Tell you what, the nose tackle and the middle linebacker work in concert. There's no question about it. There's Fickle, 3-year starter.
Second down. Edwards. Inside the 5. And about the 3.
Inside the 10-yard line, Holtz comes with the option. It's the threat of the option. It's not the option. He gives it to the first man. This is a fullback. But the threat of the option has other defenders, including the free safety, Gwynn, running to the outside.
Belisari had him and couldn't hold him. Yeah, he just
he's a bull. I mean, this Edwards is a bull.
Third down and goal. Edwards again. Fumbled the ball.
Well, the first thing you have to do against the option is stop the fullback. And that's the first time. That's the first time they stopped it.
See, he's going to lose it right there. And they called it awful
That's Vrabel,
quick.
yeah, good play by Vrabel.
He was right there reaching for it. So here's the field goal try from Kopka. Got it. It's 20 Notre Dame, 14 Ohio State. The Goodyear Spirit returns to Akron after it finishes the work here in Columbus today, offering you pictures like this. And Spirit of Akron goes on to Cleveland for the Monday night football telecast. And if the weather stays like this, it will be a spectacular night to be flying over Cleveland, the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns with ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. And this is Terry Glenn. Tripped up, number 47 of Notre Dame came flying down, Bill Matulis, and the hot man on the wedge broke through to get his man.
You talk about a drive you'd like to have on the offense coming out third quarter. 17 plays, 5 minutes and 46 seconds, and you got a field goal out of it. That's a positive, big positive. You kept the other team's offense off the field.
Ohio State will go to work now, and Orlando Pace is back in there at left tackle. Eddie George and Nicky Suolua behind Bobby Hoying.
Better keep an eye on Pace now. He may be weakened, and you have to check and see how good he's playing.
George trying to get behind him and will pick up 3 yards as he moves from the 22 to the 25. Bert Berry lined up defensively on that side where he would have to test Orlando Pace, but instead of going, he stayed and helped back up the play. Berry is from Humble, Texas.
Playing a linebacker position. He's an excellent pass rusher. He does get to play a defensive end on third in passing situation.
8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, 20-14. Irish lead. Ohio State's first possession. Down the middle, the man is wide open. Ricky Dudley, the tight end. Dudley, 6'7", 240. Throwing to him is like throwing to a blackjack pine.
There you are. You want to get it to right here, but watch how it affects the linebacker when you make the fake to the fullback. You fake to the fullback, holds Cobbins a little bit, and Cobbins knows it's going right behind him, because whenever you have a play action, usually you're trying to affect those inside linebackers, and the throw's going to be right behind them.
And it's first down after Ricky's catch at the 45-yard line. Movement all over the place.
Wait. I was working on my telestrator, but I heard on my other ear, what's a blackjack pie? You said that now?
Pine.
Blackjack pine.
Yes.
But
One of those trees that is not 80% air, like some of these golf pros want to tell you.
Okay, all right. Blackjack pine. I'll put that in my book.
Do that. Sturdy old fellow. 44-yard line for Ohio State.
Here's a look at the possessions. Ohio State in the first half. The first three not good. Then they scored on their fourth and fifth possessions, and then the one single play at the end of the half there. So they got it going late in the half.
Oh, they back him up. It's second down, 11. Here's Hoying looking. He's got Glenn, and Glenn was open. And Hoying threw the ball hard and high. High and outside. And here it is. We thought it would be, and it is a new stadium record. The Horseshoe record now is 95,537. I hope the Irish had a split the gate deal.
I'll tell you, the way they played, the Irish have been on top all day long, and they've taken the crowd out of this game for the most part.
Third and 11. Ohio State hurt themselves. They've had their chances, and they haven't cashed them in. There's a ball thrown outside. Double coverage out there on Nicky Sualua out of the backfield, and he isn't going anywhere. So Hoying is coming over to the sidelines after a relatively poor series. It looks like he might be dinged up a little bit.
I think he's all right. He's just a little upset. Third and 11. You don't want to be throwing it behind the line of scrimmage, but there was receivers downfield. You see he's looking downfield. We're covered. Hit the helmet.
Did you ever do that?
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks break fingers and thumbs.
It happens a lot.
Kick is away by Bartholomew. Ball rolling around. Buckeyes claim they have it. And they do.
Well, everything had been going along for Lou Holtz the way he wanted it. Controlling the football, long drives, no turnovers. We said these special teams were big in favor, needed to be big in favor of the Notre Dame team. And this goes against them. That's the first turnover, and it's on special teams.
Just drifted away from him, and Mosley turned and got one hand on it. That caused all the grief.
He's the same young man that ran a touchdown, a punt back for a touchdown last week on a punt return.
So a big break for Ohio State. Huge opportunity here. 19-yard line of Notre Dame. First down. Give it to Eddie George. Boy, they're on his case apparently here in the second half. They're going to try to hold him, and if they can stop Eddie George, then they probably can keep Ohio State from having a long possession.
It looked like Orlando Pace, the left tackle, was feeling pretty good because there was a hole to the left side. Well, let's just say it was huge.
Well, how come he only got a little bit of yardage on it?
Because there's Pace had his man out of the way. I'll put it that way.
Second down and 7. The up man, Sewell up to the 14. And maybe the 15. Ronaldo Wynn, 48. Exhorting his defensive teammates to dig in.
That was that's what they call a sucker play, when you pull both linemen and you don't block some guys and you expect to run right by a bunch of them, but you only do that when the defensive linemen are trailing the play.
Nickelbacks are in now, maybe 6 of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third down and 6. It's Dudley, the tight end, touchdown.
watch as he's going to go into the linebacker and come back to the outside. Dudley is 6'7", plays off the inside linebacker, avoids the tackle of the safety, and gets in.
Ran right over those little bitty DBs back there, didn't he? Josh Jackson for the point. Good. So the Ohio State Buckeyes have gone to the lead 21-20. Hoying 13 of 21 for 190 yards and 3 touchdowns. And now we see Emmett Mosley.
Look out here. He's the young man that fumbled, and he has the ability to take this thing all the way back.
Take the breath right out of you.
Yep. He is 5th in the nation in kickoff returns, is Mosley.
Shadows now, as you see, over most of the field. Lights are on. Malcolm kicks off for the Buckeyes. Got it up. And it's Mosley at the 9. Hands it off. The ball is loose. And Notre Dame recovers it. Autry Benson got on the ball. So they try something fancy, and it almost blew up in their face.
The return is supposed to be this way. The problem is the 2 receivers are going to do this are too far apart, and Kelly, number 34, is downfield too quickly. This is fine to do this stuff if you don't have penetration. Kelly saw it. Autry Denson is a true freshman. Got on the football.
Now the crowd is in the ball game.
Now the crowd's in it.
21-20, Buckeyes lead. Crowd trying to get him to hunker down and play some defense now. And Ron Paulus is saying to the referee,
I can't hear and I can't blame him, and I don't blame him.
You talk about hostile environment. This is the epitome of it.
You got it right, Keith. I said this is one of the, maybe the 2 or 3 toughest stadiums to play in as far as noise is concerned.
From the 12, Paulus gets some pressure, pulls it down, throws it incomplete. Intended for Derek Mays.
What Notre Dame needs to do, and Holtz knows it, is make a couple of first downs. Just get another drive going like he did the last time. Just complete some passes.
Rob Kelly, the strong safety, has to pick up there in the middle, and he did a nice job of it that time, helping out. 2nd and 10 from the 12. Wallace looking around. Can't find anybody yet. Now throws it away.
Well, that's just good coverage, Keith.
Yeah, Ty Howard wrapped up Solman. I think Solman was the man he eventually decided might be a possibility. But all over the field, everybody was covered, and you've got a penalty flag far across the way.
Watch over here, the lineman. Well, I get too many zeros, but the lineman, go ahead and run it. Watch the line go out to the top of the screen. That's where he wanted to go with it. It went to a screen pass, and he came over here with Edwards.
Ineligible man downfield for Notre Dame, so the penalty is against the Irish, and Ohio State will decline it. And
what happens when you have a screen pass set up one way, and you don't get the timing of it off?
It'll be 3rd down and 10 now.
Look for a rollout to the left. Paul saying, I can't hear. He's doing the right thing. They have a rule in college football about concerning the crowd. The first one, the referee stops the clock, takes a timeout. I don't think he's done that yet, but he just, the second time he captain's notification to the public address announcer.
Now the Buckeye players are saying to the crowd, let him play. It's 3rd and 10. Paulus lets it go down the sidelines. Eric Mays is down there. An incredible catch by Derek Mays. There were 2 Buckeyes over there, Ron Kelly and Sean Springs, and Derek Mays has just turned everything around.
Did you see Paulus as he was running back? He looked like he had his hand cocked to his ear hole in his helmet. So now let me hear that noise. You've got to get the ball to Derek Mays on the outside against the best coverage man that State has to offer. He doesn't have him beat much, but watch as he's going to save some speed. He knows he's open. He just warded him off until the ball got there.
56 yards.
He made that a great throw. He just used his speed until he got to the ball.
Kinder. And Kinder picks up 4 or 5. Springs brought him down.
That was a huge play, Keith, and a good call by Holtz.
Enormous play in this whole structure of things because it looked like Mo had swung completely the other way. Swanee?
Well, Keith, the Ohio State defense plays right into that because one thing they haven't been able to do is put pressure on the quarterback. So in this kind of situation, you've got to give the edge to Notre Dame because Paulus is going to have time to sit back in the pocket and find his receivers deep. Keith?
21-20, Ohio State leading with 3:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. Action, Paulus is taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Luke Fickle, the nose guard.
It's a great play by Fickle, but I'm not a big fan of the option, obviously, and I just don't think that Paulus and Holtz complement each other when they try to run an option.
Paulus is not an option quarterback.
Tony Rice is the ideal quarterback for Lou Holtz. Ron Paulus is a thrower, not an option quarterback.
3rd and 10. Loss of about 5 on that play. Timeout. Notre Dame calls it. When we come back, it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Irish. The ball at the Ohio State 32. I believe he's about well.
He was really chewing at the referee during the timeout, and what he was chewing about is that Paulus had to take a timeout because there wasn't much time. I think he loosened up his neck guard to go yell at the official. Now he's tightening it back up a little bit because he had to take a timeout because of the clock, and he wanted the noise to be the reason for the timeout and not take the timeout on the offense.
Well, I worry about one of those things quite a bit myself, the C6 problem, and you can't really yell with it.
Well, you got to loosen it up and yell.
32-yard line. It's 3rd and 10.
Here they come.
Paulus gets it away, and it's over the head of Mays and intercepted by Sean Springs.
Paulus expects Mays to go outside. See, jumps inside now. Now the defensive man has the outside position. He throws it outside thinking that Mays is going to be out there. But Springs is outside. That's good defense and a good interception. It's his 3rd interception of the year for Springs. Because you got to stay outside, son. He's throwing it outside. It's a fade.
All right, the 11-yard line, 1st down for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Bobby Hoying sets him up. Eddie George is the deep man. He's got the ball. And he's up to the 17. Pick up of about 6 yards on the carry. Tomorrow night, ABC's the place for an hour of America's funniest home videos. And then can Superman save Lois from aliens on a new Lois and Clark? And NYPD Blues' Gail O'Grady stars in the world premiere Sunday night movie, Trial by Fire. All tomorrow night.
Gail O'Grady, that's the one on NYPD Blue.
That's what I said.
Did Superman got married yet? What's going on there?
I don't know.
I'll have to watch it.
Well, George had to look that time, and by that time the door had closed and there's nothing for him. So they're looking at third down. Here's Swanee.
Thank you, Keith. This man has to be the biggest Notre Dame fan in all the country. I know you're a little disappointed right now.
You know, ever since you guys called me down here, we've taken a turn for the worse. I'm really aggravated. Lynn, I'm sitting up there, we're winning. I come down here, we're losing.
Well, why do you think that is, Regis?
Breaks, a big break. You got to admit that. But we're coming back. You watch, we're going to bottle them up now. Paulus, Kinder, Mark Edwards. We got this. We got a lock on it. We're going to win.
Lou Holtz is only one man, but he's doing a heck of a job.
Doing a good job for one guy.
Keith?
This is got to Terry Glenn. It's now a foot race. No way. He is on his way for a touchdown. Play, and Swanee, as Regis fainted. My goodness. A bolt of lightning. 82 yards, and Hoying now has 4 touchdowns today.
He had 5 last week. Started with turnovers. That man knows it right there. The last one was not his fault, the interception. Holtz, you ask any coach about a big game, what's going on, they'll say turnovers is the #1 key. But Notre Dame was in control of this game until they fumbled the first one away, and then they had the interception. 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns for the opposition.
Josh Jackson. Good. Ricky Dudley, that big tight end, has played a very important part of what's happened here in the third quarter.
This was not supposed to be a touchdown. Here's Glenn. He's going down and run a little bit of a curl. Now watch as the corner is going to slip after he catches it. That's Rawson, 15. He slips a little bit right there. Now watch the foot race. There is no way they're going to catch him. That's Moore on the inside and Rawson on the outside. No way. From behind the defense, it's a simple curl route, but when you got a big play receiver, one of the things we said in our game story about Notre Dame, they're a big play defense. They make some plays, but they give up some big plays. Texas scored 4 touchdowns on them through the air last week. Hoying has 4 touchdown passes this week.
And Terry Glenn has really stepped up. They were wondering who would step up when Galloway left. And now you really know. Here's the kickoff. Mosley at the 2. Just by 1. The second one got in. First man down just grabbed a handful of air as Mosley skidded away from him, but they get him at about the 15-yard line. It used to be that it was almost an automatic to come back to the 20 on a kick like that. And then they moved him back to the 35-yard line to make him kick it off. And now they're still not getting back to the 20 because the coverage downfield is so swift and sure anymore.
Things have turned against the Irish, but they're only down 8 points and have more than a quarter to play. This game is still far from over. They need to turn around. That's not doing it.
And they may lose that one. Ohio State gets it. So Kaczynski and Paulus can't come up with a snap. And the ball lays there, and the Buckeyes cover it.
Watch the center try to turn to his right. Watch the center try to block too quickly to his right. Paulus is pulling out. The center is pulling to his right, and there is a mix-up. The ball doesn't get back there.
It's Matt Bonhouse, number 70, who got it.
3 turnovers in the last 3 possessions for Notre Dame. See the center start to turn. The quarterback starts to turn the other way. The hands don't stay in. I think the quarterback was pulling out a little bit more than the center was turning. I usually don't like to say that because I usually like to go with my quarterbacks and protect them here a little bit.
You're still a shop steward in the quarterback union, I can tell. Ball is just inside the 19-yard line where it is first down for Ohio.
See that? There's the center and the quarterback talking right there in the heat of battle.
Eddie George is the deep man, Sualua the blocking back. George in the middle, inside the 10 to the 9. The 14, they go from the 14 to the 9. That's about a 5-yard pickup. Next Saturday, you've got these same Ohio State Buckeyes going over to face the Penn State Nittany Lions. That's at the top end of the day at noon Eastern, 9 in the morning out on the West Coast. Then the second game of the Twin Bill will be at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, with Notre Dame up in Seattle against the Washington Huskies. Second down and 5. There's Stanley wide out. They give it to George, and Eddie finds some daylight and goes to the 5. So they're going to be about 2 yards short as they come up. Clock showing to lead us to the end of the 3rd quarter, and it looks like the Ohio State Buckeyes are going to let the time run out. So at the end of 3, it's 28-20, Ohio State. Notre Dame with a 3rd turnover, and as Ron Paulus went to the sidelines at the end of the quarter, his center turned to him and said, "What happened?" Well, things blew up on the Irish. That's what happened. Back after this on a word from our ABC station.
Live Monday at 8.
Well, turnovers. That to a college football coach is about what bases on balls are to baseball managers.
Everything was going so well for a half, and came out the first drive, 17 plays. They kicked a field goal, Notre Dame did, and then they had the 3 turnovers.
It's 3rd down and 1 for Ohio State. 1.5 if you want the truth of it. More than 1. This is Eddie George turning the corner.
From behind the defense, number 75, Orlando Pace, right there on Cobbins, going to get a nice block. That's Hauser, 88, on one of the defensive backs. 3 turnovers, 3 touchdowns.
Josh Jackson at the point. George has 21 carries now and 104 yards. Made it. 14:55 to play in the game, and it's 35-20 Buckeyes. Next Saturday.
Here's a look at what happened in the 3rd quarter. Look at the turnovers. Notre Dame had 3 turnovers. Notre Dame had, at first play out, 17 plays, and they got a field goal. That was the only scored. Ohio State scored on the first play of the 4th quarter, or else that 14 points would have been 21 points in the 3rd quarter. But the fact is,
3 turnovers
the turnovers led to the 21 points in the 3rd quarter.
Here's the kickoff by Malford going down to about the 13-yard line, where it's taken by Autry Denson. And he gets an earful of dirt up around the 34-yard line as he's turned upside down. And the Buckeyes have just scored their first rushing touchdown since the Washington game when Eddie George went around the corner. So now it is 14:50 remaining to play in the game. And the defense is handed a 15-point lead by the Buckeye offense. The Irish have got to be a little shocked the way things have turned.
This exchange between the quarterback and center should be automatic. Kaczynski, the center, is new the last 3 games. But that exchange just should be automatic.
Ball is quickly to Mosley, and Emmett Mosley will stop at about the 40. And that's good for about 5 yards.
Now they're starting to throw the ball more on first down, getting it to the big play people, Mays and Mosley. Those are the 2 guys that can run. They don't have the benefit, the luxury of control the ball now and run it. You got to open it up and throw it.
This is not what Lou Holtz wanted to do.
Exactly.
This is Kinder. And he's a yard, 2 yards short of the first down as Vrabel and Belisari make the tackle.
The reason that Rick Kaczynski is the starting center for Notre Dame is because of the injury a couple of weeks ago to Jeremy Akers. He was the left guard, and when he went down, Ziegler, the center, moved to left guard, and Kaczynski moved into center, and had been doing a good job.
3rd down and 2. Wallace, hands, Kinder picks up the first down and then some as he runs the ball all the way to the 41-yard line on the Ohio State side of the field.
And Randy was saying, hey, got my face mask. Give me something for that.
He made a good cut there. Caught himself on one hand before almost went down. Right here.
He's got some quickness. Look at this. Nice job of staying up. I don't know if his knee hit down or not, but...
No.
Well, he got a little bit of it.
126 yards for Kinder on 26 carries. He scored twice. It's first down for the Irish. They're trying to answer after being blitzed there in the 3rd quarter. Wallace on the option, drops back to throw. Receiver. He was trying to get away from Luke Pickle, and he lost his footing.
Little option. Start of an option play, then you drop back to pass. And Paulus, I think, would be a much better quarterback if he just drops back in the pocket, sends 5 guys out, reads the protection, reads the coverage. But I think he's a little bit hindered, Keith, if that's the word, by running that option and trying to drop back and throw from there.
2nd down and 10 with 13:10 to play in the ball game. Wallace has got his tight end wide open. And he's down.
I think Krplevich may get it back. Howard was the one that pulled it loose.
Rob Kelly says they've got it.
Yeah, see, Howard is just a small defensive back. Krplevich is a 263-pound tight end. Little play action. Watch the way Paulus fires this ball in here. He's got a gun. Krplevich doesn't get a lot of balls. Now watch Howard strip it. Right there. Does a nice job of stripping it.
Krplevich just went under the 2 Ohio State people and took it away from him.
2 little defensive backs against Krplevich, who's about 265.
On the 13-yard line, here's Kinder on a sweep. Big hole. Touchdown. They've answered. So Randy Kinder, running like his shoe soles are on fire, gets into the end zone at 12:55 to play in the ball game.
Watch the blocking for the right side. 79 is the true freshman at tackle, right tackle. It's Rosenthal. 98 is Krplevich right there. He gets a nice block on Johnson. And there's nobody else inside. The lineman must have cut off the linebackers. Kinder probably said, that's a little easy.
Irish are going for 2. Lou yelling at Derek Mays as he came back into the ball game.
Going for 2 because you're down by 9. Want to get it to 7. Got to roll out here. No question he's going to roll out.
Stafford's up there with Mays. We'll try to knock one of those defenders off of him. Didn't get there. So they missed the 2-point try, and the score 35-26 now with 12:55 to play. It's a 35-26 ball game at the old Horseshoe, and it's a rattling good one.
Well, it took a while to get here, but this is what we thought we would have.
Yep.
And that is a high-scoring game because the defenses weren't that bad, but they weren't dominating, and the offenses know how to move the ball.
Hopkins kickoff. Way back. Gary Glenn's going to stay there with it. And Ohio State will come out to the 20-yard line, first down.
Ohio State ball from the 20 yard.
This one a little bit different, at least at this point. With game, Wisconsin has jumped out to a lead over Penn State. My goodness, look at that. That's it. Happy Valley, too.
Yeah.
Washington State gave Nebraska a pretty good scuffle today.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
35-21 in Lincoln.
I think there's still some questions to be answered about Penn State, Keith.
Yeah. Ball game tonight, Colorado, Oklahoma. Oh, that'll be bristling. Howard Snellenberger was out there burning furniture. I saw him. Eddie George and Matt Calhoun. First down.
You mean the bonfire last night?
Yeah, from the 20-yard line. Eddie George finds a hole. Sean Wooden runs him down, but it's a big one for Eddie.
I like this kid. He's not fast, but he's fast enough.
61 yards.
All right. Pace, number 75. 72 is Sumner. Is that Dudley? Yeah, number 80, the tight end. Now watch as he just going to outrun some guys. Covington is 14. McGee is 17. And it takes a while for them to catch up. And it's Wooden, 22.
That's 165 yards for Eddie George, and Pepe Pearson's in at tailback as Eddie has to get a breath. Pearson coming around at stretched legs, and he's down to the 11. It's sometimes amazing what fresh legs mean at this point of a football game.
Well, and take it the opposite way, too, Keith. We talked about this being a physical game, and the coaching staffs of both sides were saying, Ohio State, we want it to be physical, and Notre Dame was saying, we're concerned about wearing down, and this is the time of the game in the fourth quarter that you kind of get tired defensively of those big offensive linemen leaning on you all day.
11-yard line.
There's a runner right there.
Second down and 2. George back in. Great backs get stronger as the day goes on. And now Hunter looking at one.
These holes are being opened too easily now. I mean, the left side, Sumner and Pace. The fullbacks getting good blocks. The center, Juan Porter.
First and goal at the 3.
Averaging 7.5 yards per carry. That is outstanding.
Eddie George. Touchdown.
Take a look from behind Eddie George. He's going to stutter for a second, slides over a hole, run over McGee, number 17. Notre Dame answered, but Ohio State came right back with a touchdown of its own.
Josh Jackson right down the highway. The last 13 Ohio State plays have resulted in 4 touchdowns. That's how this game has turned around. And here is the key play that sets up this one. Eddie George for 61 yards, and that makes you score Ohio State 42, Notre Dame 26, with 11 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the game.
On the information superhighway, you need more than the latest technology. You need a very powerful drive. The Chevy Blazer with the Vortec V6. It's nice to know it's there.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. Windows 95 from Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? And the United States Postal Service. We deliver for you. Mike Malcolm will kick it off. He's from Dublin, just down the road. Gets a lot of air under it, but he hooked it to the sidelines, and oh my goodness, Audrey Denson steps on the sidelines, and it's out of bounds at the 11-yard line.
Well, this is what turned it around, Keith. There were 3 plays. Mosley's fumble on the punt. Notre Dame normally strong there. The interception here between Notre Dame's 2 best players, Mays and Paulus. And then the 3rd straight turnover, the fumbled snap, 3 straight turnovers. The score was 20-14. 20-14 when it started. When they finished, it was 35-20. Ohio State has scored in 4 straight possessions.
And Notre Dame had just made another big mistake as Denson stepped out of bounds on the 11-yard line, and they have to start their possession at that point. That pass is completed, however, for a first down out to the 23. Now here's John Saunders.
Thanks, Keith. Ohio State out of the conference today, but looking for the conference championship. Well, here's the last 2 champions, Penn State and Wisconsin. That was Darrell Bevel to Matt Nyquist. 10-0, the Badgers with the lead. Keith.
All right. Right here, you've got 11 minutes left to play in the ball game. Put the ball at the 22 for the first down. 42-26. Dance is not over. That ball just thrown completely wide into the sidelines, and they're giving Matt Bonhouse some jawing down there as he came in and slapped the quarterback down.
Well, he grabbed his leg, yeah.
Grabbed his leg, yeah.
Bonhouse going to grab. Bonhouse, number 7, he's in his 6th year. He had a regular red shirt, then he had a medical. He grabbed right there, and he caused him to throw it straight backwards almost, or sideways. The bottom line, Keith, is Notre Dame is behind 16 points. If they score and make a 2-point conversion, they're only down 1 touchdown. I mean, it's plenty of time.
This is Kinder. And he runs it up to the 26-yard line. No, the dance is not over. But they do have to score pretty soon.
Well, they don't have time to do it the way they did it in the first half or the first drive of the second half, and that is with 17 plays or 15, 16 plays. They have to throw first and run draws and screen second to move it down real quickly.
It's 3rd and 6. Shotgun. He slips. He throws. throw over the head. Really didn't have anybody available to him. The closest man available, really, was Derek Mays, and he was down the middle, and he couldn't get it to him.
You don't see Notre Dame in many shotguns. This may be the first one this year, or maybe ever. They've been working on it.
Slipped right there. The one lost his footing.
They had trouble with, who was that from the left side? Pincus 99 was giving him some problems.
So they'll have to kick it away at 10:08 to play in the ball game. Terry Glenn is the man waiting for the punt. Hunter Smith. But I don't think he made it. He didn't. Buckeyes take over.
Going to be snapped right to the fullback. Ohio State was looking for it. 3 defenders out there. He's got to get to that pylon. Loses possession of the ball. He held it out so far, the ball came loose.
Central McClellan, number 20, was the man that pushed him out of bounds. And so Ohio State takes over at the Notre Dame 31-yard line. Now is a chance to make the mountain pretty high.
Yeah, no, this could put it away.
Eddie George. And again, the offensive line surge is much more pronounced now than it was a quarter ago.
I think that was a good call, though, Keith, by Lou Holtz. It was you didn't have that bad a field position. The Buckeye defense looked as though they were up there for a punt. It wasn't a regular defense. They weren't looking for it. They just reacted well to it.
Well, we've gotten to the point of the ball game now where much of the cerebral thing is over. Now it's just time to go out and play football.
Yeah, the first half, the motivation, Holtz did a great job of getting them prepared, ready to play, taking the crowd out of the game.
This is George again, inside the 25, down to the 23. Got to go inside the 21 to pick up the first down. Clock ticking along at 8:50 to play in the ball game. Cubs are out of it, huh? Colorado, the Rockets are quite a story. They're rewriting all of the record books in baseball attendance. 3rd and 2 for the Buckeyes. Again, he's got the first down. Right in behind big old Orlando Pace and Jamie Sumner, and picked up the first down. Monday night on ABC's NFL Monday Night, it'll be the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns. Jim Kelly and Vinny Testaverde hard for the shores of Lake Erie.
2 University of Miami quarterbacks going against each other. Everybody's wondering if the Buffalo Bills have had it or if they still got a spark. I'll tell you what, though, that Cleveland Brown defense is pretty special.
Pretty good, yeah. That'll be at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock for Western, and timeout. So on first down, Bob Hoying's looking around, and what's been called he doesn't like, and they'll talk about it.
Is there a defense that can stop me? Maybe not. Maybe if they had cars, they could stop me. maybe not. Maybe if they had trucks. Maybe not. Maybe if they had helicopters. Helicopters and jets. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not.
It is the Goodyear blimp Spirit of Akron that is up there, offering you that picture. The captain is Aaron Jenkins. The cameraman is Richard Mockle. They're off to Cleveland after the work is done here, where they will be with us on Monday night. I had a ride in that. Fun. First down at the 13. And it's Eddie George. And he is caught just about the line of scrimmage, but will twist 2 yards out of the carry as Kennan Tatum, the inside linebacker, stepped in to get a piece of him. And the debate rages on here in the booth as to which man should be accorded the privilege of being the MVP for each side. Well, there's a lot to choose from today.
Yes, there are, and they're all offensive players. We got,
guarantee you.
well, he had 68 points on the board.
Yep. So far. Second down. Much mystery about what they're going to do. They're going to wiggle around and wander around and work the clock and run the clock and run the clock.
They don't need points. They just need to take some time off the clock.
And the clock shows 6:50. Time permitting, Thrifty Car Rental post-game report, scores and highlights. And there have been quite a few today from coast to coast, and probably more to come tonight in college football.
Penn State game will be a big one. Wisconsin winning, you'll turn into that, see what's going on there. And next week, Ohio State and Penn State. It's been 10 years or more since Ohio State has been to the Rose Bowl, and the road starts next week at Penn State.
Eddie George from the 18 will run down for a yard, that's all. Now they've got the ball in the middle of the field for Josh Jackson. Time called by Notre Dame. The Irish now will have 1 remaining. Josh Jackson is on the field. The spot is going to be just inside the 25-yard line. If it's inside the 25, it'll be a 24-yarder. Plus 10, make it 34. And it's a very big 3 points. Plenty of leg. He got it. Now 45-26, Ohio State. Florida State not playing today, huh?
Penn State is losing to Wisconsin.
That's very early. A&M idle, and a good thing probably for them after that test they had last week in the altitude and losing.
Virginia's a strong team, Keith. I like Virginia.
Tennessee bounced back from their big loss at Florida. Southern California, after a week of woe and travail, will be playing tonight against Arizona State.
Look at this, 45 points.
I don't think he's surprised. I think the game just turned on their own mistakes and just got away from them. So.
Well, we showed the 3 turnovers that led to touchdowns, and then the last decision by Holtz to go for it on 4th down from punt formation didn't make it. And so Ohio State took that in for another 3 points.
Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. Thrown him in. High kick, very high. It's Mosley at the 12. Out of bounds at about the 25. And this is what has happened in the Big Ten Conference today. Michigan winning with a fellow named Greasy at the controls. Purdue winning. Iowa big. Hayden Price cooking himself up pretty good little batch out there. Time Penn State comes to town.
Yeah. Penn State with a nice win.
Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State, excuse me.
Penn State's in trouble.
Penn State's in trouble.
First down from the 26 out of the shotgun. Paulus. He throws for Mosley and can't hook up with him.
Well, let's go back to what we talked about at the beginning. For Notre Dame, they needed a big edge in the kicking game. They did not get it. In fact, the fumble led to a touchdown, so they lost the kicking game. And defensively, big play defense. Well, they got no sacks. They gave up 485 yards and allowed 4 touchdown passes. So they didn't accomplish either of those objectives.
Paulus throws underneath for Edwards, the fullback, and he threw it short. So right now, nothing's going quite right for the Irish.
Well, the only thing that they're doing, Keith, this is something new, at least in a game for Lou Holtz, is a shotgun formation. They used it on the last series, and Dave Roberts, the offensive coordinator, said they've been using it in practice. They've worked on it. It's just a matter of using it in a ball game. And if they're getting anything out of this loss in the fourth quarter, maybe it's the fact that they've used the shotgun some. They not using it here.
That's not exactly Molly Clutch Tech on the other side of the ball either.
It's true.
Paulus bucked a little bit, now has to get in gear, and will go down short of the first down. Sun starting to head west out of Columbus, Ohio. 1935 was the game that they've talked about all these years, and 60 years later there were 17 of them 19 I guess total, who came back. 17 to actively participate in most of the ceremonies, and they have had it their way today, especially since the third quarter on. 1935 game was 18-13, a 13-0 Ohio State lead at halftime. There were those last night who asked if I had done the game, and the answer is no, Red Barber did. I had the flu. Ball spun off the side of the foot. Not a whole lot on it, but enough to get it down to the 34-yard line. They didn't want anybody getting a handle on it and starting to run back. And so Derek Mays, the young man from Indianapolis, a bit disappointed with the way things have gone today. Ohio State really got it going in the third quarter, scored 3 Notre Dame turnovers, led to a total of 21 points.
Yeah, the 14 in the third quarter could be 21 because they scored in the first play of the fourth quarter, but started out slowly and picked up and kept on going. We didn't think it was going to be a defensive struggle like it was in the first quarter, and it turned out to be probably just exactly what we thought, and that is a lot of points on the board.
Now the Buckeyes will try to kill the clock as George veers outside, runs for the markers a little bit short. Ohio State starts this possession at 4:50 to play, and a 19-point lead. Well, I hope he's going to be all right, because that, you know, kind of pushing his luck a little bit here.
Well, he's been out there standing on his feet all day. He's been going to practice, but I don't think he stands the whole practice. I don't know, but
no, he's got a golf cart.
Yeah, he sits down, but
I only say that because I know what that feels like. And,
you've had that done.
It's no fun. No, I haven't had it done, but I've had a lot of C6 trouble. Eddie George, and it's on the other side of midfield. He's got 207 yards on 32 carries. That game over at Happy Valley is in the second quarter now, and Wisconsin's still leading it 10-0.
There he goes,
George,
over 200 yards. That's the 4th time in his career. John Cooper is very aware of what's going on, and he knew that Eddie George had a chance to go over 200. He's kept him in the game until then, and out he comes to a nice hand.
Pepe Pearson is now at tailback. The roar was for George as Eddie came off, and Pearson now with those fresh legs will weave his way in there for a first down. We were talking to John Cooper for a while yesterday about a lot of things, including the impact of this game on the state of Ohio, and this is how he defined the interest in the game.
Keith, I played golf this summer in Bobby Rahall's charity golf tournament, and that night they had a little live auction. So I said, hey, Bobby, auction off 2 of my Notre Dame tickets. The opening bid was $5 grand. Tickets went for $5,500. So I think that's indicative of the kind of interest there is in the Ohio State Notre Dame game.
That's quite a bit.
I'm glad to see John Cooper doing well.
This is Pearson again. And a couple of yards on that carry. So that sets up what will be a key ball game in the Big Ten Conference play next Saturday, as Ohio State will go over to Penn State. And you know, if they can work their way, they can get through here against Notre Dame, and it appears they're going to. Then they go to Penn State, then they go to Wisconsin. They get Iowa here, and they get Illinois here, but they finish at Michigan.
Well, they have a tough schedule. They play Washington and Boston College, Penn State next week. They've got Notre Dame here. They're going to be 4-0 and playing. I mean, they have not played any patsies in those first 4 games.
They were the ground game. And Pearson being patient and getting something when it looked like he had no chance at it. The Irish, on the other hand, they'll be bumping some pretty good heads next week up there in Seattle, because the Washington Huskies, there are a lot of folks around there still mumble about the game played in 1948.
Yes. And looking down the road, they got a big home date against the University of Southern California.
Well, the way they're dinged up, and they're going to run into Army with a wishbone, that might not be an absolute picnic.
Yep.
That wishbone will drive you crazy when you don't see it much.
That's the University of Washington. Didn't they have trouble?
Yeah, they did. They only beat them by like 10 points. Pearson picks up a first down. So I think the Notre Dame defense is just flat worn out now. Ohio State beginning to put in fresh people, and they're just kind of banging away and pretty much doing what they want to do with it. And the Buckeyes are headed for probable improvement in the national rankings. Stanley Jackson comes in at quarterback, and Bob Hoying goes out, having thrown for 4 touchdowns.
Taking their bows.
Coming up next on ABC Sports out on the West Coast, the Arizona State Sun Devils and the Southern California Trojans. That's West Coast only. And next Saturday, national doubleheader. Noon Eastern, it's Ohio State and Penn State. Then at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, Notre Dame is in Seattle against Washington. That's next Saturday here on ABC Sports. Inside 1 minute to go in the ball game now. And Jermon Jackson is the tailback. The genuine Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Randy Kender for Notre Dame, 28 carries, 143 yards, 3 touchdowns. For Ohio State, Eddie George, 32 carries, 207 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The 25th year of NCAA sponsorship for Chevrolet, and Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievement and to help those in financial need. So this one's about done. And we're going to have time for one more play as that one goes out of bounds with Jackson carrying. And And your final score is going to be Ohio State 45, Notre Dame 26. It was a good football game. It was just all of a sudden, the sky fell on the Irish with all the turnovers there in the third quarter.
That's why you hear coaches, it's a cliche, they just say the team that turns it over the fewest is going to win.
This should do it. Notre Dame 26. The standings in the Big Ten as we really get into it starting next week. The Buckeyes are 4-0 overall. Michigan is 5-0 overall. Penn State's in trouble against Wisconsin in the conference game tonight. So here comes Big Ten play hereafter. And we hope you enjoyed today's telecast from alongside the Olin Panji. A big win for the Buckeyes.
This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.